Okay, I'm here with Keith Coulston from Young Devon. Keith, will you just tell me a little bit about what Young Devon are doing within CYP IAPT in the Southwest?
Sure. Young Devon voluntary organisation, and we're a partner with Devon CAMS within the Southwest Collaborative, which also includes Torbay CAMS and Plymouth CAMS. We sit as a partner on the implementation board, and we also are a provider of services, so we have a counselling service. This year we've got one CBT trainee who's doing the CBT training full-time at Exeter University, and we've got two nominated for next year. So alongside that provider arm, if you like, we, Young Devon, were commissioned by the collaborative, i.e. our other partners, Torbay, Plymouth and Devon CAMS, to lead on the participation work and voluntary sector engagement. Because within Young Devon, we've got a participation and action team who already are very experienced in working with young people and deliver AQA accredited training. So we've been commissioned by the collaborative to ensure there's compliance and consistency regarding the pledges which were made to young people as part of the application process.
Okay. That's the 9 priorities or pledges?
They were taken from the 9 priority pledges, realising that it would be impossible to implement all 9 within a relatively short period of time. So we're focusing very much on the 5 pledges that we've made.
And what are they?
Which are about setting up a young people's shadow board, which has just happened and has taken time to pull together. And a representative from that board will be attending the implementation board in April for the first time. So that's developmental work. We are, the collaboratives, committed to delivering on training. This will be done through peer team, AQA accredited training around commissioning, but also we've added on to that in terms of training in assessing services, interviewing staff, and a general foundation passport to participation for young people. So young people, whether they're in the shadow board or just interested in the whole activity of getting engaged and trained up, they can access this training and support the whole CYP IAPT programme. So we set up a shadow board that's now meeting on a fairly regular basis. It is a developmental process, and we're hoping to attract more young people into that as time goes by. We've met in terms of going back to the pledges. There was one around training, so that young people are engaged in support the training programs, either in their local CAMS teams or as well as with the university who are delivering CBT training. We have held workshops with the university, and that they've been very successful. So we're hoping to continue that relationship with the university to help evaluate the training as well. And we have Young Devon started to make connections with other voluntary organisations across the collaborative because we feel it's important to inform other voluntary organisations of the CYP programme, given that there's emphasis on parenting skills as well, and to try and develop our links with children's centres and so on, so we can get the views of parents, carers and younger children, and feed those into the whole participation agenda as well. So as the project's been running for just under a year, I think we've done pretty well. But what's apparent is that it is complicated. It does take time. Things can't just happen overnight.
That all sounds really brilliant. I'm interested then. It obviously does take time. What's been your biggest challenge that you've faced over the year?
Well, I think the challenges are really emerging now, and I think one of the challenges, given the overall brief we have in terms of if we can stick to the participation agenda, is to ensure consistency across the patch, because we know that all the CAMS teams are, run in slightly different ways, so that one CAMS team may have developed a lot of work around young people's participation. They might, for example, interview all clinicians and support staff. In another CAMS team, they may not. So one of the big challenges is to try and establish some consistency so that the main collaborative pledges are actually implemented. And then, of course, where there's massive issue of sustainability. So to attract as many young people into the process as possible, and then to enable young people to remain involved ad infinitum.
Okay. The last thing I wanted to ask you about, Keith, is in terms of your partnerships with the CAMS services, what is it that's made them work? Because I know that can be quite hard things to forge sometimes. What do you think's made them work? Is it the people or the sort of structures that are set up? What makes it work for you?
No, it's all about people, really. It's establishing relationships. And I think one of the founding principles within the collaborative as a whole was about being respectful and trusting each other and sharing and being open and honest. And I think that sort of fed through and down through the different teams, so that our CBT trainee is supported by a CAMS supervisor. We're starting to look at delivering CBT out from within our Yes Centre in North Devon, so it's opening up access to young people in more young people friendly things. So a lot of this comes down to how well we get on with each other and respecting each other, and so I would say it's the relationships and not the structure.
Okay, thanks so much, Keith.